Hello there. This is the CMOS, the Code Maven open source podcast and video interview series. I'm your host, Gabor Sabo, and with me is Trung Đinh Quang. Hello there.
Hi. Hi.
Have I pronounced your name properly, or could you?
Yeah, it's correct. Trung Đinh Quang. Yeah.
Okay, great.
You can call me Trung for short.
Trung. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's really nice to meet you. I understand that you're in some kind of a coffee shop right now, or place where you work?
I'm in a coffee shop. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Is that the place where you work at?
This is actually my company. Because the company has the coffee shop for the employee to work if they want to sit in the coffee instead of in the office. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I kind of spend 8 hours a day in this place. And the connection is quite good, so yeah, it's no problem.
Oh, so you prefer to sit there instead of in the office, right?
Yeah. It's the company is quite open on the place to work. I can even work at home, but yeah, I think it's better to come to a coffee shop where I meet people and have a better connection. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of things do you do at this company?
Yeah, actually, at the company, I do web engineer. So a lot of stuff about JavaScript and web technologies, single-page application. Yeah, that's those things. I also do a lot of R&D development, which is I kind of find for new technology, new stuff to digging in and then sharing the knowledge back to the company. That's what I do in my company.
Oh, that's interesting. So do you give presentations, or how do you do this sharing?
Yeah, we have internal sharing sessions and the external as well. So I will find new technologies to learn about that, and then we do a small session about 30 or 1 hour session, and all the employee get in and sharing stuff. But the last session I was talking about WebRTC, yeah. So the next thing would be, I don't know, maybe Angular 2. You know, Angular 2 just released yesterday. It's kind of interesting.
Okay, so you're talking about these subjects within the company, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Web technology.
How did you get into programming or high tech, or I don't know how to define this where you are?
Yeah, so I got a lot of interest in programming and computer since I was very young. I started writing code since I was 15. Back then, I was using Visual Basic 6 to write Windows applications to some fun projects. And then I get into .NET framework, the Microsoft technologies. And just 3 years ago, I started to work on web development heavily with JavaScript, single-page application, and web technology with a lot of cool stuff from the Google technologies and for example, React from Facebook and Angular, and a lot of framework and libraries in the web development.
So you mostly do front-end development, right? Do you also do backend?
Yeah, I used to. Right now, I'm still doing backend as a PHP developer, but mostly I'm more interested in front-end development.
Okay, yeah. I see. So I saw at least one project on your GitHub, the GitHub Explorer. That's how I found you, I think. Which,
yeah, you found me with the GitHub Explorer. Where did you find it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe I was just browsing GitHub itself, and then I somehow bumped into your name and the project.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Tell me about it.
The project was an experiment on the progressive web app technologies. Have you ever heard about that?
Well, I'm not really. So, I heard about progressive, but I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, so the progressive web apps is a new kind of way to build applications. Like you don't have to build native application for every kind of applications. So progressive web app is a way you build app to have a native experience in it, like it performs very fast. It can send you push notifications. It can work offline, and a lot of cool stuff if you look it up later. And the GitHub Explorer is one of the experiments that I have been built, and that one is particularly have take a lot of intention from the community, which is why I think why you found it on GitHub, right? Yeah. So the main reason of the purpose of the project is I want to demonstrate how a web application can perform as well as a native application. So if you go to the GitHub-e.com on your mobile browser and you started to touching around, you can see the animation and the transition of the page as very well. I have started it on my 3-year-old phone, which is a kind of low budget phone, and I think the performance is now comparable to the native applications. So that's what that's the purpose of the project. And yeah.
So you say that it's mostly interesting to view using a phone or some kind of a mobile device, not so much a desktop.
Yeah, on desktop, I haven't built a layout for desktop yet. So if you go with the desktop layout, it kind of look weird. But you can try to simulate the phone on your browser to see how it works, or you can use a phone, physical phone as well.
Okay.
And right now, Progressive Web App right now is working very well on Android. You can use some advanced features like add to home screen, working offline. You can open the app without connection. Yeah. So that's a lot of cool things I have put in.
I see. So is this still under development, or do you add more features?
Right now, it's not actively development anymore because I got interested into some other projects, and I think I think I kind of finished the purpose of the project, which is I want to demonstrate how the web app can animate very fast and perform very well on mobile devices. So I think I kind of finished that, and the next thing I want to build something else. So to use more feature of the progressive web app. The GitHub Explorer, they don't have features like push notification and push notification. So maybe I'm trying to build something else with the progressive web app. Yeah.
Do you have the specific idea what you're going to build?
Well, yes, several, but I'm still choosing for those because it's gonna be one thing. It has to be demonstrate all the stuff from the progressive web app, and it has to be useful as well. You know, the GitHub Explorer, it can demonstrate something, but if you look at that, you can see it's not very useful because the GitHub as well, they have their mobile layout for the mobile devices. So yeah, it's kind of more demonstrate, and I want to build something useful. So it's gonna take time for that.
I mean, you might build something and then sell it to the company for whose website you built it, right?
You mean the new company for the website for the idea?
Yeah. So if GitHub didn't have its own UI for mobile, then they might want to take yours, right?
Yeah. I think that could be the case too. But right now they do have mobile layouts for mobile devices, but it's not progressive. You know, it cannot work offline or cannot send me notification when I have a new pull request, for example. So yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe they could contact me for or some other guy to make a progressive web app version of their mobile layout. I don't know, yeah, but that could be the case.
Oh, that would be interesting. I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So I also saw your own website, which was really surprising to when I visited it, because it has a Windows. It basically looks as if Windows desktop was running in my browser.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
Yeah, that was my very old project from 2 or 3 years ago when I get bored, and back in the time I was learning CSS and trying to implement some fancy design from a famous designer, and I think why don't I make a version of my Windows 7 which is the operating system I was using at the time. And yeah, I was trying to build that with pure CSS and JavaScript, yeah. And when I get into the interface, when I get the interface done, I think why don't maybe we can try to make that work as well. And then if we can spend more time, we can build that into some kind of cloud computing, cloud operating system where everyone can log in and feeling like they are using their own PC on the web. So that's kind of interesting, but I wasn't have enough time to do all of that and with the technology. But then I think I can do, and I can't finish that at the time.
Yeah.
So it was stopped at the stage where I post my interesting stuff on the website, and it's become more like my portfolio website, where I put my small application. If you see, if you take a look at the Counter-Strike game in that Windows, you can see I try to build the whole ecosystem for the apps, and yeah, but it stopped right there. Right now I don't actively development on that anymore.
Okay, and is that open source? Can we find it on GitHub?
Yeah, it's a project on my GitHub as well.
Okay, that's great.
You can, yeah, I can send you a link later. Yeah, the problem with this project is I try not to use any framework or library. Everything was written in vanilla JavaScript, which is right now I wouldn't think that it's a good idea, because if I am going to build that right now, I'm going to use React or other single page application framework, Angular 2 maybe. But yeah, that website wasn't used any other library, so I think that's one reason why it took me so long to finish, and the source code is not very well structured as well. I was learning JavaScript with OOP from a book, and that's what I was experiment with it. And yeah, it's a kind of fun project to work on, and I kind of happy when people go into my website and see that, and they surprised, well, what is this? Is it the real Windows? It's not, you know.
Yeah, but it really looks real. Then.
Yeah, and, I try my best to make it look very real.
You might want to add this blue screen of death once in a while.
yeah, maybe. Instead of throwing out exception, we can show in a blue screen. Yeah, just an idea.
Anyway, do you have other projects that you might want to talk about?
Yeah, let me see. Besides writing code, I also actively working on sharing on the community. In Vietnam, I come from Vietnam. Yeah, we have technology events like Barcamp Saigon, TechCamp for university, and Free Code Camp, which is popular in the world too. Yeah, and I got a lot of sharing sessions in those events, which is sharing knowledge about technology as what I do in my company. So yeah, that's interesting thing I want to do. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of these meetups or community things in Vietnam?
Yeah, so I have just graduated 1 year ago, so I started to give to join in meetup and events from 1 year ago, and from now let me remember, I gave out about 6 or 7 talks about web technologies in the community and doing open source, and yeah, that's not very much, but I'm keen into do it more in the future.
Yeah. Well, that's great. As a closing question, I would want to. Do you have any suggestions to people who want to get into open source or programming, especially people from Vietnam?
Yeah, I talk about that a lot at the event where I got a lot of audience, a lot of people who is at the beginner level. So one link, one resource I always trying to share with them is a FreeCodeCamp website. They have a well-designed, well-structured for get to the development and the open source, especially for front-end development. And yeah, front-end they got Node.js as well, but I think it's a good resource. And for open source projects, yeah, GitHub is a way to go. And one thing people want to put their foot into the community is to join the events and meetups and doing open source a lot, so they can share and learn more about the web development as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was great. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me in this show and sharing with me and with the audience all this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.